Rangers are very much alive in this title race, and that feeling around Ibrox is starting to shift again in a way that supporters recognise. 4 straight victories change the mood, but more importantly, they change belief. This latest win, a comfortable 2-0 success over Aberdeen, felt controlled from start to finish. There was never a moment where Rangers looked stretched or panicked, and by the final half hour, it genuinely felt like a training ground exercise. The tempo was managed, the structure stayed intact, and the players looked confident in what they were being asked to do. These are small details, but over a season, they add up to something much bigger. A huge part of that control came from set plays once again, and it is impossible to ignore the impact of the specialist work being done on the training pitch. 2 goals from dead ball situations do not happen by accident, and the organisation, movement, and delivery all looked rehearsed. Set pieces might not be glamorous, and some would argue modern football is becoming overly obsessed with them, but they win matches. Rangers have found an edge here, and that edge is producing goals at a crucial point in the season. Manny Fernandez continues to be one of the most fascinating stories in this squad. A central defender contributing goals with such consistency changes the balance of a team. 5 goals since arriving at the club is an outstanding return for someone playing at the heart of the defence. He attacks the ball with conviction, times his runs brilliantly, and brings a real physical presence that opposition sides struggle to cope with. When defenders start chipping in like that, it relieves pressure elsewhere and gives Rangers another reliable route to goal. The delivery into the box has also taken a step forward, and Connor Barron deserves serious credit for that. His corners against Aberdeen were consistently dangerous with real pace and intent. There was variation as well, mixing height with driven deliveries, which kept the defence guessing. Sharing responsibility from set plays has clearly added something extra, and the results were there to see. Barron's influence on the game went far beyond corners, though, and his overall performance summed up why he has become such a key figure in recent weeks. That midfield partnership dictated the match. Nico Raskin was outstanding, returning to his best with a performance full of energy, intelligence, and composure. His ability to carry the ball forward, break lines with passes, and recover possession gave Rangers control in central areas. He was everywhere, constantly offering an option and shutting down space when Aberdeen tried to build. On another night, Barron could easily have been the standout, but Raskin's all-round display just edged it. From the back, Rangers were rarely troubled. The goalkeeper had a quiet evening, which tells its own story about how little Aberdeen created. The defensive line stayed compact, dealt with crosses calmly, and never looked rushed. It was professional, disciplined, and efficient, exactly what is required at this stage of the campaign. Even with some rotation in the side, the structure did not drop, which speaks volumes about the work being done on the training ground. There were a few performances that did not quite reach the same level, particularly from some of the younger players, but that inconsistency is part of their development. Young footballers will always fluctuate, producing flashes of quality one week and struggling the next. What matters is that they are being protected within a solid team framework, allowing them to learn without carrying the full burden of responsibility. The manager's rotation shows a clear focus on managing workloads and keeping the squad fresh, which will be vital as the season progresses. Off the pitch, the words coming from the head coach reflect a mindset that should encourage every Rangers supporter. There is no sense of complacency, no suggestion that the job is done. Instead, there is an emphasis on collective effort, growth, and understanding that more work lies ahead. The message is clear that this is not about one individual, but about building something together step by step with players, staff, and the wider club all pulling in the same direction. That approach is also shaping plans for the transfer window. There is a calmness in how recruitment is being discussed, with an understanding that bringing players in early allows them time to settle, adapt, and contribute properly. There is no desire to rush deals for the sake of it, but there is also an acknowledgement that this squad still needs improvement. Winning matches does not erase weaknesses, and it is refreshing to hear that honesty being expressed openly. Midfield remains a clear area of focus. Physical presence, leadership, and consistency are qualities that Rangers are still seeking, particularly in that number 6 role. The balance of the team depends heavily on that position, and getting it right could elevate the entire side. There is a clear idea of the profiles required, not just in terms of ability, but mentality as well. Players who can handle pressure, dominate duels, and control matches are essential if Rangers are to maintain momentum in the title race. This clarity of vision is perhaps the most encouraging aspect of all. There is a sense that decisions are now being made with a clear footballing purpose rather than reacting to short-term problems. The squad is being shaped to suit a defined style, and recruitment is being aligned with that identity. That does not guarantee success, but it creates the foundation for sustained improvement, which Rangers have been searching for. As the league table tightens and the fixtures continue to come thick and fast, every detail will matter. Confidence is growing, performances are stabilizing, and belief is returning. Rangers are not just winning games, they are starting to look like a team that understands itself, and that is often the most important step of all. Another name starting to circulate around Ibrox fits perfectly into that wider picture of what Rangers are trying to build, and it says a lot about the direction of travel. The focus is firmly on a defensive midfielder, someone who can anchor the side, protect the back line, and allow others to play with freedom. This is not a short-term fix, but a player who can grow with the team and become a central figure over time. That is why attention has turned towards a young Danish midfielder who is already gaining serious interest across Europe. At just 21 years of age, Silas Anderson is being viewed as a profile that ticks multiple boxes at once: youth, athleticism, and experience beyond his years, all combined to make him an intriguing option. Despite his age, he has already played a significant number of matches at senior level and has been tested in European competition. That exposure matters because it shows an ability to cope with pressure, tactical demands, and different styles of football, all of which are essential in Scottish football and beyond. Operating primarily as a number 6, Anderson offers exactly the type of presence Rangers have been missing at times this season. He is comfortable sitting in front of the defence, reading danger early and breaking up opposition play. What stands out is his composure on the ball. He does not panic when pressed and is capable of playing short, simple passes to keep possession moving, but also has the range to switch play or find runners further forward. That balance between security and progression is crucial in modern midfield roles. Physically, he looks well suited to the demands of the league, strong in the tackle, aggressive in duels, and willing to cover ground. He brings an edge that Rangers have often lacked in central areas. Scottish football can be unforgiving, with battles decided by intensity and second balls, and players coming from Scandinavia have historically adapted well to that environment. There is a robustness to his game that suggests he would not need a long adjustment period. Another key aspect is his tactical intelligence. Anderson reads the game well, positions himself intelligently, and understands when to step out and when to hold. That awareness allows those around him to play with confidence, knowing there is protection behind them. For a side looking to dominate possession while remaining defensively solid, as that kind of midfielder becomes the glue that holds everything together, the interest from other clubs only reinforces the idea that this is a player on an upward trajectory. He has been monitored closely across different leagues, and that level of attention rarely comes without substance. Rangers positioning themselves in that conversation shows ambition and a willingness to compete for emerging talent rather than settling for short-term solutions. It reflects a recruitment strategy built around development, resale value, and on-pitch impact. What also makes this potential move appealing is how it aligns with the current midfield setup. Pairing a disciplined defensive presence with players like Raskin and Barron could give Rangers the balance they need to control matches more consistently. It would allow those players to push higher, press more aggressively, and contribute creatively without leaving gaps behind them. That structural improvement could elevate the entire team. Beyond individual names, the bigger picture remains encouraging. There is a clear understanding of where the squad needs to improve, and there is patience in how those improvements are being pursued. Rather than rushing into deals or chasing headlines, the focus is on finding the right fit, both in terms of ability and character. That kind of approach builds trust between supporters, players, and coaching staff. The recent run of results has provided breathing space, but it has not created complacency. Training standards remain high, competition for places is increasing, and players know that performances matter every single week. That internal pressure is healthy, especially for a club with title ambitions. It keeps standards high and prevents the drop-off that can derail a season. There is also a growing sense of identity on the pitch. Rangers are starting to look more structured, more adaptable, and more confident in how they approach different opponents. Tactical changes during matches are becoming more effective and players seem clearer in their roles. That clarity often comes from consistent messaging and strong leadership, and it is beginning to show. As the transfer window continues, the expectation is not for instant miracles, but for smart additions that strengthen the squad in meaningful ways. Depth remains an issue, particularly from the bench, and addressing that will be crucial if Rangers are to maintain momentum through a demanding schedule. Injuries, suspensions, and fatigue will test the group, and having reliable options ready to step in can make the difference between challenging and falling short. Supporters are right to feel cautiously optimistic. The performances are improving, the direction feels more coherent, and the decisions being made suggest long-term thinking rather than short-term fixes. There is still work to be done, still gaps to fill, and still challenges ahead, but the foundations are beginning to look more solid with each passing week. Momentum like this has a way of changing how opponents approach matches against Rangers. Teams are no longer turning up expecting opportunities through chaos or mistakes because the structure is now harder to break down. Rangers are defending higher up the pitch, recovering possession quicker, and forcing opponents into rush decisions. That territorial control is becoming more consistent, and it feeds directly into confidence. When players feel in control of space and tempo, the game slows down for them, and that is when quality starts to show more naturally. Another important factor is how competition within the squad is quietly increasing. Players know that standards have risen and that no position is guaranteed. Training intensity lifts when places are under threat, and that edge carries into matchday performances. Even those not starting are being asked to stay mentally sharp because opportunities are coming through rotation and tactical changes. That environment is essential if Rangers want to push deep into the season without losing energy or focus. What stands out most is the sense that Rangers are no longer reacting to problems but anticipating them. Adjustments are being made before issues grow, whether that is through tactical tweaks, rotation, or transfer planning. That proactive mindset often separates teams who challenge from teams who simply compete. With belief growing in the stands and clarity growing on the pitch, Rangers are setting themselves up to keep applying pressure where it matters most. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. The rumours are flying fast across Ibrox, and they're the sort that get the heart racing for every Rangers fan. Word from close sources suggests that Nathan Patterson, the dynamic fullback who once lit up the Gers defence, could be making a sensational return to the club, this time on loan in what many are calling a potential season saver. Patterson's early career at Rangers saw him develop into one of the most promising young defenders in Scottish football, blending pace, aggression, and a surprising knack for getting forward at the right moments. His departure to England left a gap that the Gers have struggled to plug consistently, and whispers now suggest that the board may have moved quietly behind the scenes to bring him back for a temporary spell. While nothing is confirmed, insiders claim talks are advanced and that Patterson himself is reportedly excited at the prospect of returning to familiar turf. The speculation has already set social media alight. Supporters are weighing in with visions of an invigorated backline, conjuring memories of crucial tackles and daring runs down the wing. Patterson's versatility is a major talking point. He can slot in at right back, left back, or even in a more advanced role when the manager demands it. For a team chasing consistency in both domestic and European campaigns, the timing couldn't be more dramatic. Critics, of course, warn against reading too much into the rumor, noting that loan deals of this nature can be complicated by contract clauses, wages, and squad balance. Yet the sheer excitement surrounding the potential move is undeniable. A Patterson return would not just bolster the defense, it could inject the kind of morale and energy that lifts a squad in the toughest months of the season. Whether it's a tactical masterstroke or a desperate gamble remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Rangers fans are already imagining a familiar figure charging down the flanks once more, ready to remind everyone why he was once considered one of the brightest young talents in Scottish football. Until an official announcement comes, this is the sort of rumor that keeps fans talking long into the night, dreaming of a late-season revival sparked by a familiar face in the blue jersey once more. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned